3-Point Shot, Chapter 15. Court is in session. Ahem! Now then, let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial, Monokuma declared. During the trial, you'll present your arguments for who the culprit is, and vote for who done it. Vote correctly, and only the blackened will be punished. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will graduate from this academy. Also, refusing to vote will result in your death, so you better vote for someone. Now let's get this crazy awesome to the max trial underway. Hell yeah! Dad always knows just how to start up a trial, Monokid cheered. Well, by now he's gotta have it memorized, Monosuke reminded. Either way, I'm just so happy for Daddy. He deserves this after a long time with no bodies, Monofani commented. This trial will help them get along. It will be good for everyone, Monodam concluded. Kaede took a breath and started things off. Non-stop debate. Start! Okay, I'm going to ask the room one more time. Did anyone see Shinguji-kun after we went back to the dorms after casino night?
Well, obviously someone did,
Maki countered.
I highly doubt this was a suicide.
The multiple wounds make that seem quite unlikely, Kibo added.
Near as I can tell, no one can recall seeing him after that,
Kirumi said dejectedly.
It was a rather late night, and most of us went to bed.
There may be one thing that can help us,
Ryoma interceded.
According to the pool rules, no one is allowed in the pool during nighttime. That means his body would have needed to hit the water after 7 a.m.
That's wrong! Break! Anyone is free to enter the pool building during nighttime, Shuichi corrected. And the rules say no student is allowed to enter the water during nighttime. By that logic, as long as Shinguji-kun was already dead, it wouldn't matter what time it was.
Huh,
Ryoma replied.
Is that right?
I'm afraid so, Shuichi lamented. With the only things in the pool being the body, the knife, and the life preservers, it's hard to say when the murder took place.
Oi, Monokuma.
Iruma growled.
What happened to telling us the time of death on the Monokuma file?
Oh yes, about that, Monokuma explained. Last time, you guys pinned down the killer solely through your knowledge of when the murder took place. I wanted to give you all a bit more of a challenge this time. You did find my mole on the first try, so call this Expert Mode. Sounds good to me, Kokichi said with a smile. Wouldn't want things to be too easy. You have not earned the right to speak, you degenerate male, Tenko spat.
Yeah, we're still pissed about last night, you ass monkey,
Miu added. Last night? Kokichi questioned, feigning a lack of understanding. Whatever do you mean? We can worry about him later, Kaede said, taking the reins once more. So here's a question. Why did the culprit put the life preservers in the pool? Anji knows this one, the artist proclaimed. Okay, so the culprit wanted to hide the time of death, but there were bloodstains on the preservers. So we couldn't see how fresh the blood was, so the culprit had to wash it off. If Shinguji-kun was stabbed and the blood dripped onto the preservers, we can safely say he died outside of the pool, Shuichi surmised.
Which completely puts my idea to bed,
Ryoma complained.
But what about that knife?
Yeah, I don't get that, Kaito said, his confusion on full display. If it were me, I'd try to take that with me. Why leave it behind? If the crime took place at night, Kaede theorized, then they might have dropped the knife in the pool and not been able to get it back. By next morning, there would be too many people wandering around the school to try and retrieve it, Kibo explained. So crime take place at night? Gonta asked. We can't be sure, Shuichi reminded the group. But for now, let's explore that possibility. Okay then, Kaito cheered, cracking his knuckles. Let's get us some alibis! Except, Kaede interjected, we were all asleep in our dorm rooms. No one has an alibi. Kokichi chuckled. Wait, Oma-kun, do you know something? The pianist asked. I know a lot of things, he replied. But I know there's something else important about that knife. Hold on, do you know where it came from? Shuichi inquired. Kokichi shrugged. I can't be sure, but at the very least I have a theory.
Tell us, you Shota brat!
Miu demanded. Well, now you've hurt my feelings, Kokichi whined. I don't like being called names by a slut like you.
Slut?
Miu whimpered.
I'm not a...
Oma-kun! Kibo shouted. Please tell us your theory! Fine. Kokichi surrendered. If none of us have ever seen that knife before, it must have come from a room none of us have ever been in before. And the only room that fits the bill...
Is Harukawa-san's research lab correct?
Kirumi finished. Bingo! Kokichi cheered. Harukawa-chan could be hiding who knows what in there. Maki's eyes narrowed, but she remained silent. Hold up, Kaito countered. Maki rolls the ultimate caretaker, right? Why would a lab for that have a fancy-ass knife in it?
Don't call me Maki Roll.
The red-eyed girl spat. Her composure remained under control, but on the inside she was sweating. Kokichi had the perfect opportunity to reveal her true colors to the group, and if he did, it was almost certain the class would declare her the culprit. Who can say? Kokichi answered. But you can't say for sure that there isn't a knife in there, right? Oma-kun, Kaede began. Do you have some other reason to suspect Harukawa-san? Well, there was her video, he replied. It cracked my top 5 favorites, that's for sure.
If you ask me,
Maki countered.
you're the suspicious one.
Is that so? Kokichi sneered.
You've seen every video, and by extension, you've been in everyone's dorm room.
Maki explained.
You're the most likely to have a motive to kill Shinguji.
So that's your plan, The dictator acknowledged. All right then, let's get this part taken care of. Hit me with your best evidence. Prove I did it, if you can. Kaede was lost in thought. Oma-kun's in complete control right now, and he knows it. We have to force whatever information he's hiding out of him. Non-stop debate. Start!
Until we know what Alma saw in Shinguji's video, we have to suspect him.
Maki argued. He is the only one who would have seen it. Tenko agreed.
Unless Shinguji-kun shared his with someone.
Himiko pointed out. Kibo immediately shot down that idea. Impossible! None of us would do something as risky as showing someone their video! The fitness club, for lack of a better name, wisely chose to remain silent. Kokichi's been super suspicious lately, Angie claimed. We don't know what he's been up to.
We don't know anything about his whereabouts since he disappeared during casino night.
Kirumi clarified. That's wrong! Break! We do have the note. What note? Tenko asked. That's right, Kaede remembered. Oma-kun slipped a note under Harukawa-san's door this morning. Which means he must have been in the dorms this morning, Shuichi finished. With that in mind, we should look closer at the note. If he killed Shinguji-kun, I don't think he would take the risk of drawing that much attention to his whereabouts.
Someone's not paying attention.
Maki cut in. Huh? The detective replied.
Look closer at that note.
Maki explained, continuing her train of thought unimpeded. Rebuttal showdown. Start!
In it, he claims he intended to stay in his room. However, he says something else interesting. He claimed he would see us soon, if he didn't want to leave until he had to. He would only leave if there was a murder, meaning he knew the next murder would come soon.
Advance! But if he knew about the murder, writing that would only draw attention to himself, Shuichi argued.
It doesn't matter if it's the smart thing to do. What's important is that he did it. His note tells the whole story. He knew exactly when the next murder would happen.
I'll cut through your words! Maki was briefly taken aback before she found her footing again.
And how's that?
In his note, Oma-kun also mentioned how he had stored food in his room so he wouldn't starve. Shuichi countered. If he felt the need to do that, for all he knew, the next murder wouldn't happen for days, if it happened at all. Nicely done, Saihara-chan, Kokichi said, praising the detective. A keen eye for detail.
Can we take anything he says seriously?
Maki challenged. By that logic, we can't trust the see you soon claim either, Shuichi replied. Maki scowled, but ultimately relented.
Fine. There's not enough evidence to say Alma's the culprit. Yet.
Either way, Kaede interrupted. Oma-kun, can you please tell us what you saw in Shinguji-kun's video? Kokichi put his finger to his chin. I don't think I will. What's your problem, you asshole? Kaito shouted. Kokichi put his hands up in mock defeat. I want to see how far you can go. At this rate, you'll never get where you need to be. Need to be? Kaede parroted. Not important right now, Kokichi brushed off. In the meantime, let's get back to my earlier point. Harukawa-chan's likelihood of being the culprit. Non-stop debate. Start!
He has a point.
Ryoma chimed in.
Until we know where that knife came from, it's possible it came from her lab.
Harukawa-san, can't you just tell us what's in your lab? Kaede asked.
What's in my lab is my business.
Maki defended.
I don't have to explain myself to any of you.
Yeah, you do, Kaito argued. If you don't, it's your ass on the line.
If you're all stupid enough to say I'm the killer, it's your own fault if you get yourselves killed.
The red-eyed girl countered.
Where do you get off calling us idiots?
Miu shouted. Gonta not like suspecting you, the gentle giant offered, but can be true. Like none of us guessed how bad Tsumugi was, Angie recalled. This could be the same deal.
I've had the most contact with Harukawa-san.
Kirumi commented.
I don't think she would do this sort of thing, but I must admit, it's plausible.
How does it feel, Harukawa-chan? Kokichi challenged. You've dug your own grave, since no one can account for your whereabouts last night. No, that's wrong! The room went silent. Kokichi and Maki wore shared looks of confusion on their faces. Kaede continued her bold claim. I know exactly where Harukawa-san was last night. And where's that? Kokichi inquired. She was with me and the guys doing nightly training, right guys? Kaede was lying. End of chapter 15.